What's up with comics? Yeah. Okay. This is where I, out of focus, talk about what's up with comics this week in my boring and monotonous voice. This is volume 2 of What's Up with Comics. I wish I had a comic in hand now to show you. Anyway, things that have gone on with comics. Well, this week we unfortunately had the passing of Robin Williams, and he was a bit of a nerd, a bit of a geek, but not particularly with comics. He was more into his anime, actually. He enjoyed some really decent series, actually. He was a fan of Cowboy Bebop, Ghost in the Shell, a personal favourite of mine, Neon Genesis Evangelion, which featured quite significantly in a film he was in, 1 Hour Photo. He sort of visualises himself as an Ava unit at one point, which is really interesting, and I was a fan of Ava when the series came out, so it was a bit of a it was a bit of a rush for me, you know, in a weird way. And of course he was a fan of Legend of Zelda, having named his daughter Zelda as well. Selfie variants. Selfie variants are what DC Comics are doing right now. I've heard a lot of people don't like them. I don't know why. They're contemporary, and it's a nice way of cementing this pop culture trend. They do look real silly though. They do look like quite silly covers, which is great, which I like. Next month, I think they're doing the Lego variants, which look good. Marvel have also already done Lego variants, so they'll go quite nicely. Previous variants have been the 1950s bombshell variants, which look really, really good. And they also did the robot chicken variants, which were also fantastic. I think DC have really got variants going at the moment. Not to say that other comic book artwork isn't great. I mean, Marvel have got some really good covers going on. They've got the Death of Wolverine coming up pretty soon, Marvel. That's the big thing in Marvel. How long is Wolverine going to stay dead for? You know, is it going to be a permanent change? No, of course it isn't. The Death of Wolverine was announced before the whole Captain America and Thor and Iron Man news that have been chucked about as late. But it's just researched because it's just about to happen. More on the Deadpool news. The writer of the script for Deadpool is trying to get as many retweets as he can on his Twitter. I think it's almost at 50,000 now. I'm not sure how many it will take for a studio to take notice. I think 50,000 isn't really enough, even with $10 per cinema ticket per retweet. That's still only 500,000, and that is nowhere near enough to make a studio take notice. The Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack is doing extremely well right now. It is at number 1 in the US Billboard chart at the moment. It's the first album of completely previously released tracks, no new tracks on it whatsoever, to make it into the Billboard chart at such a high position, number 1 even. And in the UK at the moment it is sitting at number 2 in the compilations chart, ahead only of the latest, now that's what I call music album. Also on the subject of Guardians of the Galaxy, people really want a dancing Groot toy to be released. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then don't worry too much about it until you've seen the film, which you should because it is excellent. Someone on Etsy made an unofficial dancing Groot. Now Marvel told them to stop selling it, so hopefully that means Marvel will be selling one of their own. Godzilla 2 has been given a release date. It's coming out on June the 8th, 2018, and it should feature Mothra and King Ghidorah. Two absolutely amazing Godzilla baddies since Mecha Godzilla. But you can't have everything, can you? I mean, they've got to leave something for the next one. Also announced ages and ages ago was Pacific Rim 2. Pacific Rim 2 should be coming out in 2017. So it's a good few years for films. I think next year we're getting Avengers 2. And then in the future we're going to get Guardians of the Galaxy 2. We're going to get Godzilla 2. We're going to get Pacific Rim 2. It's going to be fantastic. And also you've got Dawn of Justice and Ant-Man as well. A new theme park. I don't know if you know this one at all, but Paramount Pictures are thinking about opening a theme park in Northfleet, which is just between Dartford here and Gravesend over there. It's going to be stuck in Northfleet, which is really at the moment only really good for the Red Lion Rock pub if you're just on the cusp of legal drinking age. Good times, good times. Anyway, it's fully on its way. It should be ready in summer 2019. It's really, really exciting. This is going to be a really big, world-class size theme park, water park, entertainment venue, and all sorts. It's going to be amazing. And it's within walking distance of Newsstand Comics in Dartford. If you don't mind walking 2 hours, there's probably going to be a bus. Why is this important to Geek Stuff? Because Paramount Pictures has Star Trek. Yeah, it's pretty much the only exciting thing they've got, because all they really have to offer is Rango, which is fine. It's on Netflix. Watch it if you can. It takes a bit of commitment. You have to sort of stick with it, but it's actually pretty good. And really, there's nothing really else they've got. They've got Indiana Jones, I think, or is that Disney now? I don't know. But they should have enough to keep a decent theme park going. But who cares what it's dressed up as? It's going to have roller coasters and water slides and everything, and it's going to be really, really close. Yeah, summer 2019 is when I think they can have it open by. If there's any more news on that, I will add it here as well. Pokemon, and apparently it seems that more Pokemon are getting really weird, really excessive evolutions in the new game, which is due to come out sometime soon. I'm trying to look at it on the internet. 21st of November is when the new Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire will come out, and they will include loads more crazy and probably unnecessary evolutions for current Pokemon. Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro, of course Hideo Kojima being the one who's in charge of Metal Gear Solid, that's it, thank you. And Guillermo del Toro, of course, was in charge of, what's it called, with Pan's Labyrinth, that's it. They're both making the new Silent Hill game, and people are too scared to finish the demo. Very good. Toys and theft. Somebody stole a £1,500, 250,000 yen Tetsujin toy from Mandarake in Akihabara, and now they're saying please give it back, because they're Japanese and that's what they do. They ask politely for things. They gave him a deadline to give it back, and apparently he hasn't come forward and given it back yet. A friend of the thief says, oh, I can't do that just yet, so apparently I think he's probably aiming to give it back. So that's a weird bit of geek news for you. Not in comics, but still. Back to comics, and it seems that Marvel have protected the copyrights for Squirrel Girl, which is kind of a background character in Marvel Comics, but it looks like they're going to add her to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Squirrel Girl. Okay, so that must be your end for this now. I don't want to keep it too long, but keep on getting hooked on those feelings and keep on getting high on believing things they'll never see coming.
Ooka chaka, ooka, ooka, ooka chaka, ooka.